go live, and then I go to manage, and I go to this, and are we live? I think that's it. I think we're here.
Okay.
We are. Yeah, we're okay. Awesome. Yes, it's working. So there are people here. Yes, it's Roz here. Jason from FPL is here. Hello, Jason. Mate, I did it. My first time. I scheduled an event, and it went off without a hitch. So far,
Well,
it's been 30 seconds.
Don't speak too soon, mate. There's plenty that can go wrong yet. I need to go and get myself another posh G&T.
Okay, you do that.
Okay, be 1 second.
It's working. It's working. Oh, and James tweeted the correct thing. I won't mention it. James, you tweeted the correct link. So good.
The correct link.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you expect from me?
Mate, I expect
complete incompetence.
So little. No, you've done well. You've done well.
I haven't really given you much reason to put your faith into my competence, but when it comes to a tweet, I'm as good as the next man. Don't you worry about that. Cheers. I've actually got a gin from your neck of the woods, Dave. Edinburgh gin.
Nice. Is it whatever that's called, just EG, right, or EG?
EG, Edinburgh gin, rhubarb and ginger, to be specific.
No, see, that's the kind of shit I expect from you. I don't expect you to tweet correct things, right? But I expect you to drink rhubarb and ginger gin.
It's my favourite of the Edinburgh gin family, which do not sponsor Firing Blanks.
No, mate. See if we could get alcohol as a thing.
We're close.
It would go in the mug. Yeah, we've got the receptacle. So far.
Exactly. We've got the receptacle. We just need the liquid to fill it.
Right. I'm tweeting too, and then we can.
Speaking of receptacles, Ross Shortland is in the building, aka Mr. FPL Merch himself. Guess how many mugs Ross needs to sell before he's completed his goal?
How much will you give me if I get this right, though?
Well, I imagine you might have seen his tweets.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I have.
7 mugs. Now, there are 15 people watching right now. I would wager that 7 of them are yet to place an order. Why not go over to twitter.com/FPL merch, find his Kickstarter in his little bio, go over and get yourself a really lovely FPL mug. I mean, I've got one waiting for me. I can't wait.
Have you actually? Is he going to give you one?
No, I bought one, man.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't. I felt like it would. No, because I felt like I've already got like a mug, and I've got the thingy, and I'm not really an elite manager, as we found out. Right?
Well, that's true. He doesn't make mugs for incompetence.
Exactly. So I'll get it on the next run. Are you ready to go? We've got so many people here already. Man. Sammy Barnes, Martial, Ings, or Son DLC. I don't know what his actual name is. It doesn't come up. See, on Twitch, it tells me their name and then tells me what they're thinking, but it's all just white, which is interesting. Sammy, thank you very much for being here. Jason's here, as I said. It's Rod. Liam, hello. How's it going? Rubber Ducky, happening. What is happening, guys? All right, I'm ready to go, mate. Are you ready to go?
I'm born ready.
Born ready. Awesome. Right, it's me and Lady Gaga against
the world. That's not technically true. I'm not ready at all. Is it happening?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I'd lost you there.
What is happening, guys? Welcome to the very first ever Firing Blanks YouTube stream. How is everyone? Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate that this is going to be a transition for some. But it's also nice. It's also a very special time. We finally have Mr. Tongue Loftus here as well, the co-host.
Yeah, the co-host who doesn't really do much co-hosting, but yeah, very happy to be here. It's been a long time, Dave, actually, for us too.
Yeah, I know. We kind of took a little break there in between the football.
We did, yeah, and I missed you deeply.
Yeah.
I was saying to you before we started recording that this reminds me a lot of lockdown, our football manager days. But of course, we are in a new house. We're in a YouTube house.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
nice.
it here. The cushions are plusher. The shag pile is a little bit shaggier.
It's first
Mirrors
class.
on the ceiling. It's cozy. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and I appreciate everyone who's here. Jimso's here, our handy mod. I'm gonna have to make you. I don't know if we can have mods on YouTube, but our mod's here. I'm sure he can tell me what to do. Paulie's here. How's it going, man? FPL Ibro, congrats on your new stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we can set our YouTube off with a bang. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I've been doing amazing and getting really top managers in for my my project, my 8 Simple Rules, and that's been going really well, and the followers are coming, and the subs are coming, but you know what I really care about the most? The streams. I care about this. This is the most fun. These are hilarious. They're so funny to do. Slagging other people's teams, slagging yourself, your hair and your gin and all that. Like, this is what's fun for me. I can let my hair down, metaphorically, because it's up there, and just talk football and just not have like tangents or not have things to actually have to get to and stuff. We talk about whatever we want. If someone says something in the chat, we'll just talk about that forever. Do you know what I mean? That's my favorite part.
I mean, I feel like you've got to say that because we're actually doing the stream right now. So I feel as though you're coming at this from a very biased perspective, Dave, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I think you're absolutely right. As someone who does the occasional podcast, I really like the live setting. I enjoy interacting with people live. You like
not having to do any work.
Well, there is that too. I like the improvisation a live stream facilitates.
Yeah. Fair play.
So I'm so happy to be here.
And I appreciate that you finally managed to show up. So, guys, for anyone who is been with us for a while and has transitioned with us, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But I kind of want to show people our new widgets before we get on. So, widgets for you, James, is when people subscribe and it shows up like a little "Hey, you've subscribed" thing. I've been working on them. And I went really deep into it, really graphical, really like 100%. And I thought, no, that's not me. We're very laid back, relaxed. So here is, if you subscribe right now, guys, this is what will come up for you. Ready?
I've got a slight delay.
You won't see it, but it's really dumb. It's really dumb. And then we've got this one. We've got the donations, right? It's just Kante, just being an idiot.
I've just seen Traore. It's quite
severe. Doing his little dance. And then membership is the one. I think it's like if you become a membership of your YouTube channel, you can't do it with me. We need 1,000 subscribers or something. But if you do it, it's like a $5 a month, kind of similar to subscription based in Twitch. So I thought I'd do a good one, which is just it's so loud. That's so loud. But yeah, it's just Kane being like, "Come on." Because I'm really into Kane these days.
Come on.
You guys.
Nasal Kane. I tell you what, Dave, I'm so happy with this transition, and I think it's high time that we moved over to YouTube. But what I will say, and any of our loyal viewers will agree with me, I've been saving up my Dave money, and now it's suddenly a worthless currency.
Yeah, fair play. We'll
Is there any way I can transfer it?
Well, how about you just wait and we'll see if we get we've got summer next year, right? So,
hopefully.
We could do, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, we've got a break in the football next year. So it means that we can maybe play some games. I'll get you to play Fall Guy or something. That might be fun. You don't even know what that is, but it's fun. It's really fun. You're a little guy and you run around and you try not to fall down. It's really funny.
Well, that's just my life in a nutshell.
So yeah, we're still going to be going back to Twitch, but we're just going to do the FPL stuff here. It just makes more sense having everyone in the same place.
Yeah.
I like it. Speaking of FPL, what was your rank last season?
90k. Sorry. The rhubarb gin is coming back to haunt me.
Oh my goodness. Was that a burp? I thought you were just pausing for dramatic effect.
It was a 90.
Posh.
Okay. It was a suppressed burp.
Yeah, fair play. And so 90k last year, and the year before that, what'd you get?
I got 2.5k roundabout.
Right. So that's the reason why you're here, mate. That's the reason why
you're here. Thank you.
So more of that chat. What is your game week? How are you feeling about game week 1?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I obviously, like everyone, don't like the fact that it is a blank game week.
Yeah.
That's quite hard.
No one wants a blank game week, but we've got one.
No, of course. And especially when it's a blank that involves not just Man United and Man City, who, of course, everyone has been focusing on, but also, for me, the Burnley blank is a bit of a thorn in the side as well, because I was quite excited about some of their 4.5 defenders. So it's not easy, but everyone's beaten this drum plenty already, so I won't ruminate too much on that. But I'm just really happy to have the football back, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And you always have that pre-season optimism, don't you? Before it all starts going to shit, you think maybe this is the season in which I'm, a top 10 manager, or even looking at the number 1 prize. That you always entertain that idea. And it's just nice. I mean, look at Ben Dinnery on the podcast. I've never seen a more optimistic man. They'll all be down the pan by game week 4, but...
Yeah. He's had not bad... Ben Dinnery gets a bad rap because of last year, and he was struggling to get in the top million. One time, we've all been there, right? And then, but he's had a top 30 finish, a top 40k finish. He's not bad at the game. He just does really stupid stuff and doesn't care about it. I think that's the problem. What's happening? One Rovers Vlogs. How's it going? And Karthik Ramadura. I feel like... Not only did I not get that name right, but I haven't seen you about here before. So, oh, Mystic here. Are you guys not on Twitch? Yeah. So we've just been we've kind of passed that, but yeah, we're doing YouTube now. So welcome, Mystic, welcome back. So game week 1, your squad is finished, ready to go, hopefully finished.
Come on, Dave. This is a Wednesday. There's going to be plenty of changes between now and then.
I feel like...
Listen, it's in a much better state than it was this time yesterday. I did quite a lot of tweaking today. And I'm now at a place where I feel as though the spine of the team is in. That's not going to change, I don't think. Obviously, you always have these variables floating about that may change depending on injury news and that sort of thing. But I'm pretty happy with it, I've got to say. How about you?
I feel like I am one decision away from a finalised team. And the decision that keeps coming back to me is, do I want Tottenham players or not? Because right now, I have in my current squad Vardy and Robertson. But that could change to Doherty and Kane. So I don't really know what one I want to do. I really want to do one or the other. I can't really do a mix and match because the money doesn't really work. And I don't know if I want to have 2 Liverpool defenders or I want to have Kane instead of Vardy. It's really difficult to pick because on the one hand, Vardy's a good pick. He scored the most goals last season, etc., etc. We don't have to pick up Vardy. And Robertson looked amazing post lockdown. He was the best defender for ages. Probably still is one of the best defenders in the game. And Liverpool have decent opening fixtures. Blah, 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 right? But on the other hand, right, I have been watching All or Nothing, and I just can't get Kane out of my fucking head. He's like a little defenseless bird, and I just want to kind of just hold him and make sure he's okay. I watched him get injured, and he's like, nah, and then seeing his little face. You've seen it? I hope everyone's seen it, right? It's not a spoiler. Kane gets fucking injured last year, okay? But he gets injured, and then the head physio has to tell him, and he just looks so gutted, and I'm like, oh, you poor, really rich man. I just want, and so I feel like I'm being manipulated to put him in my team. So I need people.
He does have a very beak-like nose as well, which adds to the whole.
Yeah, we could just keep making fun of him. I feel like you could do that for a little bit. Yeah, he looks like
when Chewie gets. It's like when Chewie gets distressed. That's what Kane sounds like. It's all I can hear. Listen, you're right. I tell you what. I've watched the first 3 episodes of All or Nothing, and it does. I think, as is always going to be the case when you kind of get a glimpse of the inner workings of a club, you do have more respect for them. And you understand Mourinho's methodology a little bit more, and you understand the influence that Kane has in a team, and you think, God, this guy. He's a very, very good player. But what were Ben Dinnery's words in a Fantasy Weekly podcast today? They were, Kane is not 100%. He's not going to be for a while.
Yeah.
He looks off the pace. Give it a few weeks.
Yeah, but when has he ever been good in the first month?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's all the more reason to wait on him a little bit. Yeah.
Well, he was good last season. The first month is a problem. No, but you know what? He was good in like the first game week, and I remember Holly had him, and she was on the Scoutcast, and everyone was like, "Wow, you went with Kane and Thingy up front, blah blah blah, and you did really well. And what are you gonna do?" And she's like, "Well, I'm a bit dilemma because now I've got so much money, I can't really get any of the little guys." And she just completely regretted having Kane for the rest of the season, and so much so that when we asked her about Kane on the pod, she was like, I'm not doing that again." Even though like it's a completely different situation, completely different scenario, completely different set of players and all the rest of it, but she's just been burned by Kane. So I feel like you said, I'm being manipulated.
I mean, Kane has been in and around that top scorer slot for the last 4 seasons. He was in and around it last season despite missing a huge number of games for his standards. Mm-hmm. If he gets game time, he will score goals, and there's just no two ways about it. So I don't think Kane's a bad option whatsoever. In fact, he's been in a lot of my drafts. He's not at the moment because I've gone very midfield heavy, but he is in a lot of my drafts.
Is Son FPL Rubber... Oh, yeah, sorry, go.
Oh, so I was just going to say, FPL Rubber Ducky has said, my defence is finally sorted. It's a miracle. Rubber Ducky, don't keep that to yourself. Please share it in the chat.
Yeah, let us know.
Please sort all of our defences.
Do you want? Shall I show you my team then? Should we just do that? We'll see what our current drafts are, and then what we can do, guys in chat. Me and James, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but we came up with Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is, or Money Where Your Mouth Is team. We'll tell you a little bit about that, but if you're new here, it's really, really fun, and you could possibly win money. So I'm going to go and get my team up, and then you can go and find the league code, mate.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. There's no way you could find the league code. So the Firing Blanks league code, I know is in the chat right now.
I need to join it.
There's the code. It's there. And basically what we do is we create a team full of differentials. And if we want to change any of the team, it costs us £5 per transfer. And all the money that goes into our Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is team, all the money at the very end goes to whoever wins our mini league, and that's basically what it is. It's a little bit fun. There's no buy-in or nothing. It's all free. You guys don't have to do the differential thing. It's just what we're gonna do with our Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is team. And the rules of the team is that we need to pick players that are not only differentials, but that no one is talking about. Like, we can't just pick Pope because he's low owned. Like, people are still talking about Pope, so that would be out the window. We can't pick Aguero, for example, because people are still talking about Aguero and the fact that he's 10.5, and if he's on the radar, he's not allowed on our team. That is the rule.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be fun. Have you been thinking about differentials, mate?
A little bit. For both my own team and for this, actually. You know, there are a few differentials that have made my starting 11. We'll get to that shortly. But yeah, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve, Dave. I'm very keen. You show me your team, I'll show you mine.
Right, okay, let's go. Sean Harden in the chat said, if the Money Where Your Mouth Is team wins the league, then who gets the money?
That's not going to happen, Sean.
Well, number one, it's not going to happen. But if it ever did happen, then I get the money, because it's James that's bankrolling the thing. It's his money. So there we go.
I have to pay to be on this stream, folks. See what Dave's saying.
He's amazing. He's like my sugar daddy. All right, here is the team. Here's the team that I haven't posted or showed anyone. I mentioned it on the pod today in the Fantasy Weekly, but I haven't actually This is new. This is different to what I said. All right, here it goes. All right, so we have...
Oh my god, it's disgusting.
I know. It's actually pretty cool. It's just 4-3-3. It's a bit weird. Okay, so let me talk you through it. McCarthy in goals, classic, standard, fine. Alexander-Arnold, Tierney, I've had them since day dot. They're staples in my team. Robertson is the weird one back there. There's a lot of money in defence. And Justin as my 4.5 kind of enabler. Midfield, same as everyone, Salah and Aubameyang. I've also got Saint Maximum, who is a bit better for money now that they've got Fraser and Wilson, so I like that, so he's in there. We talked to Ben Dinnery today, who said that we actually don't know if Wilson will start for Game Week 1. Even though he's been training, he played with Bournemouth for ages, we just don't know, and he's not confident as the best injury analysis that we know ever, and B, a diehard Newcastle fan. So when Ben Dinnery says to me, off air because you guys all fucked off, and I was asking him a bunch of draft questions after you guys left.
Little let.
I know. So I was like, Ben, before you leave, mate, I've got a few questions.
And Ben, that's work to him.
I know. No, I did. I started off with like, so how you been, mate? He's still got those problems that we talked about last week. You know, I was like,
warm him up.
And I was like, so while I've got you here, Wilson, do we think he's going to start? And he's like, I wouldn't bet money on it. I think he would probably get maybe 30 minutes at the end, 25 minutes towards the end, because even though he has been working with the board method, just like off and off and off, right? And I was like, all I needed was a yes or no, but I didn't say that to him because I'm a nice person. So he is out my team. Mitrovic is in because Mitrovic is definitely going to start. 6 million attackers. You have Mitrovic that I like, Shea Adams, which is fine, but I've got Ings, so I don't really need him. And Nketiah, who I really like, who scored so many goals for England on 23s in the last couple of days, a hat-trick and a brace or something. However, like Lacazette's still in the Arsenal squad, and I just don't want to have to deal with that. On top of Nketiah being in the same squad as Lacazette, he's also on international leave right now, and we know what's been happening with international leave people, right? They've been COVID out their fucking nut, James.
You're also unable to pronounce his name, which means if he was in your squad, you would be forced to make a fool of yourself
every time. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So Mitrovic is in there as like a safety net, but I do like Wilson. I do like Nketiah. I'm just gonna try different. I'm gonna try. Is that actually how you say it?
That was it. Nketiah.
Oh, excellent. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna leave Mitrovic in there as kind of a safe 6 million pick. Vardy's in there instead of Kane, like we talked about, and then Ings has been in my team since my first draft. So my core team there is Trent, Salah, Aubameyang, Tierney, and Ings, and then everyone else is kind of like switching in and about. So my thought process is I could get Robertson out for Dockery, and that means I can go Vardy to Kane, and I'll have 0.5 million in the bank. I like Mitrovic better than every single midfielder around that price, except for Saint Maximum, who I've got on the team. So the 6 million and under midfielders aren't better than Mitrovic, especially with Fulham's run. So I've decided to just get 3 attackers instead.
Karthik raises a really good question in the chat. He says, why not Werner? His stats are very impressive in the Bundesliga. Now, but Werner is at the moment the highest owned attacker by quite a significant margin. Dave, it's interesting that you're not even flirting with the idea of Werner. What's your reasoning there?
I had Werner in my team for a long time, actually. But the reason why I don't want him is because, quite simply, Chelsea have an away game to start. So how many people are going to get, how many new players are going to get their first game for Chelsea there? So right away, yes, I could probably say that Werner's one of the main people that will probably start the game. But I have a sneaky feeling that he won't finish the game. And even if they do start and he does okay, he is the cheapest of the 3 options that I want. So I can go from Kane to him and Vardy to him, but I would need to make 2 transfers to go from Werner to Kane or Vardy, for example. So it's safer for me to go for someone that's more expensive. The second reason why I'm not going for him is because I've talked to some really fucking amazing managers in the last couple of weeks to get all this 8 simple rules thing together, and have almost all said the same thing. We don't really like to punt on players that are new to the Premier League. Almost all of them. There's a few crazy managers in there, but by and large, most of them have said, I start game week 1 very simply. I have players in there that I know have played in the Premier League and I know can do a good job, and then I'll probably wildcard early, or I'll take a few hits early, and I'll bring all these awesome new and wonderful, exciting players in. We don't get dragged into the hype. We're very conservative. And for once, James, I'm going to be fucking conservative as well.
Well, I love this conservative, Dave.
Yeah?
Which not a sentence I thought I'd ever say. But I do like it. I think at this stage in the season, conservatism.
Yeah. And Nketiah.
is the only way to go. It's the only way to go. You know what I do when I'm picking my team, Dave? I don't filter by price. I don't filter by points scored last season. I filter by percent of teams selected by. That is the main metric that you need to be focusing on, I think, when you're building your game week 1 draft.
It's a very interesting
Every other metric pales into insignificance, in my opinion. It's all about making sure that if a really highly owned player goes off, you are compensated and covered, which is why not having Werner is a worry for me. He's the highest owned player that I don't own. So I'm a little bit concerned about him, but
in the chat, Zeker007 says, will Doherty be starting straight away? And that's also a concern. So that's another reason to go with, Robertson over him. Robert Ducky said, with Maddison injured and Leicester in terrible form, Vardy feels like a hell of a risk. And that's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. But Vardy can score no matter who's behind him. We've seen Maddison for a long time injured or out of form last season, and Vardy was still raking in goals. Although Leicester are in poor form defensively, I feel like their attack is still not bad. The only thing that puts me off having Vardy is that he's low owned, like you said. I still am in the same mindset as you, where ownership is king, and I don't want to be left behind. But again, talking to these managers and trying to change my thinking and changing the way that I look at the game, they don't give a shit about ownership and never have done. Like, a lot of them don't even look at it, which is mental to me. I think that just breathes like confidence, which is something that after a shocking season I had last season, I've kind of lost a little bit.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And I'm looking not like woe is me. I just mean like I don't want to. Like last time I was overconfident. I picked a bunch of players I shouldn't have, and it just totally shot my team or shot my season. And I had to fight from 3 million to 190k, which was a difficult grind. It was way more difficult than the season before when I got top 5k, right? So this season, I don't want to make any more stupid mistakes game week 1, and I don't want to fuck it up. So that's why I made the list in the first place, mate.
Yeah, and it's not, it's not about confidence really, or lack of confidence. It is about mathematics when it's this early in the season, as far as I'm concerned. And so, as I say, I mean, Robert Docky makes a good point again here, where he says Werner ownership is too high to ignore. If he hauls against Brighton and you don't have him, you're in trouble. I do agree with that, Robert Docky, and I think raises an interesting point, which is about your FPL principles, right? So one of my FPL principles is I care about ownership percentage more than any other metric. However, another one of my FPL principles is I do not like to punt on new players. And so for me, the question is not Werner or no Werner, it's which principle do I prioritise? Yes. Do I prioritise a lack of new players, or do I prioritise ownership? And for me, my lack of new player principle is more important to me than my ownership principle, which is why I'm still not going for Werner, despite my speech about how important ownership is.
And you know what? The next thing that I'm going to say is that Werner has one game where I won't own him if he's a good player. Do you know what I mean? Like, he plays Brighton, which we've talked about before. I have a video, if you haven't seen it, on my channel called Captaincy Strategy. And in it, I go through every single team and say whether we should or shouldn't captain our players against. And Werner is expensive enough that he should be a captain option in your team. And there's only one game that he's going to be playing, which is at Brighton, away. Which is not an easy game. Brighton are not pushovers. They're not a team that you're thinking, you're going to go there and score 6 goals. Especially a brand new attacking side. Like, they only have Pulisic and Mount. Maybe they're there that have been there from last season, right? Every other position in their attacking, the striker, the left wing, the right wing. Havertz is now there, etc. So that's concerning me. Second of all, Liverpool is game week 2. So how many people do you think, if Werner scores 2 goals... Are you still going to bring him in for game week 2 against Liverpool? You probably won't, right? No,
that's it, exactly. But if he performs against Liverpool, then you've got a player.
Exactly, and then I can bring him in. It gives me 2 games with, a potential dud or a potential stud, and I could bring him in after 2 games for 1 transfer because I've got Vardy or Kane, who's a higher price. So I think all signs point to not owning him and being okay with that because I'm only losing out in 1 game. And that's assuming the worst and Vardy doesn't do well. Because Vardy could absolutely fucking bang, couldn't he? He could score 3 goals and everyone's going to be like, oh, we should have picked Vardy. You know what
absolutely.
I mean?
And he's got that in his locker,
of course.
And likewise, so could Kane. I mean, any of these players are capable of scoring lots of goals. And ultimately, Vardy and Kane have done it in the Premier League. Werner has not.
Yeah. let's look at your team. We talked about my team. By the way, I just want to shout out that Robert Ducky has been making amazing points this whole thing. Because every single time I look at the chat, he's said something like, and everyone's like, I agree, 100% Ducky, that's you. Ducky, you're smashing it, mate. Would you get you on? This guy's, wait, hold on. This guy's just just call me. Right, James, your team now?
See, delay means that I genuinely couldn't see what you were doing, but I can take an educated guess. Oh, there it is.
This is the best way. I don't know how to...
You wouldn't think I'm bankrolling the bloody mini league, would you? Ooh. The abuse that I get, honestly.
Is this easier to see? Oh, it's going to bounce up. Right, I'll just hold it there. Right, okay. So talk us through your teammate.
Yeah, okay, sure. So
wait, hold on. Daps has said at least he's talking this time. So what I've been doing while you've been away on the streams is I'll have a picture of you on instead of you.
Yeah, I know. I see the clip.
And I'll just start shouting at you. And what I'll do is I'll say, how have you been? And I'll leave a space of air, of no noise. Well, and I'll be like, oh, he's really shy today. And
I mean,
that's so funny.
That sounds funnier than anything that I can contribute, to be fair.
Right, go for it, mate. Ryan in goals.
Yeah, Ryan in goal. I mean, as you said, Brighton are no pushovers. You know, I'm not expecting them to keep clean sheets.
No, but at least it's a home game.
You know, Ryan's one of those keepers where if you're going to have a set and forget for 4.5, he's as good as any for me. McCarthy's a popular one as well, but I like Ryan. I just think he's a little bit more capable of accruing those save points. So very, very happy with Ryan in goal. No stress. He can play good teams or bad teams. I'll be happy either way.
Yep.
A back line of Seiss. I mean, I think Wolves are quite popular as far as defence goes. Alexander-Arnold, of course. Walker-Peters, again, a really good 4.5, I think. Southampton, quite popular. Some decent opening fixtures as well. Crystal Palace to start is quite a nice one, I think, for defenders. So very happy to invest in him. And Lamptey, which is an alternative pick, I've got to say.
I like him. I like that pick.
I mean, it is a double up on Brighton defence against...
Double up, I agree.
Yes, it does. On what looks like one of the more exciting attacking teams in the league. But I've got to say, and this is a slight deviation from my team, but Chelsea, to me, I'm cynical about them, to be honest with you. I think all of this investment is great, but I think it will take time to ferment a little bit in the Lampard barrel. I don't necessarily think they're going to come out all guns blazing because it is effectively a new attacking outfit. And I think whenever you get a situation like that, it does take time for some of these players to bed in. So I'm not too worried about that fixture, to be honest. And Lamptey, it would be Taylor if Burnley had a fixture.
Yeah, I think everyone would have Taylor.
Lamptey's in there. He's young. He's got some great post-hiatus stats as well in those final 8 games. So he looks pretty promising.
I was having a look at your team. I didn't realize Bruno Fernandes was on your bench there,
and
I was like, "This is not a bad team." But you're missing like a premium. I didn't know where your money went. I was wondering. It was very spread out. Your price points are really good, and you've done really well that way. But I didn't realize this is a team. If you didn't show me the bench, I'd be like, "Oh, it's okay." But on top of that, you've got game week 2 strategy going on, mate. Look at you.
Yeah, I do, and I've seen in the chat people are talking about Antonio. Yeah, so Antonio is one of the players that is very much still a variable for me. He may well change. I do actually have 0.5 in the bank, so I've got a little bit of flexibility here. Antonio, I like him. Obviously, he was a top scorer post hiatus, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
An opener against Newcastle is appetising for me. I like the look of that. I just feel like he's a good player. I don't know. I was watching a highlight reel of the kind of post-hiatus.
You shouldn't do that, mate. I've watched the highlight reel last season.
Oh, God, I know. I know. You can watch any highlight reel and you will want that player.
I know.
It could be David Button.
Mate, Zaha's highlight reel of last season is amazing.
Well, I mean, Zaha is an amazing player.
I know, but he did so shit last season.
He did. Yeah,
I just got your joke there, by the way. I just figured what you said. I missed it half of it, but Button's highlight reel is probably really good as well. So do you?
Mitrovic. Sorry, you go.
No, I was about to say about Mitrovic. Go on.
Yeah, I agree with you on that front. Top scorer in the Championship, and what I like about him, because obviously I have this principle about no new players, which includes promoted players, which is why you won't find any.
He's not new though, is he? He's a big Sam we've seen before.
And he's done it, and he's scored double figures in his last season in the Premier League. So I think for $6 million, I think that's one of the more generous price points for for promoted players this season. So I'm very, very happy to go for him. Some maximum midfield, for me, the best sub $6 million midfielder out there.
Especially considering their transfers now, right?
Now, Pulisic is an interesting one, and to be honest, I thought that might cause more controversy. Pulisic is in there because, as of today, he's been declared fit and ready to play for the game against Brighton.
Oh shit!
I've got to say, I think Pulisic is potentially one of the best attacking midfielders in the league.
Oh, is this another Aurier bullshit that's going on?
I honestly, when you watch him play, Dave.
Oh, he's good. I'm not saying he's good, but best attacking midfielder.
No. I said potentially, and by which I mean I think by the end of this season, that statement may not sound so controversial.
Oh,
I think that he has it in him to be one of the highlights of the season this season, based on his performances last season and particularly post hiatus.
I gotcha.
It's not just his FPL returns, it's just how good he looks as a footballer. Reminds me a lot of Hazard, actually, which I know is a very worn-out comparison, but I'd be very, very happy as a Chelsea fan to have retained him over the summer and the fact that he's now fit coming into the new season.
And he's only 21 or something. Like, he's going to be a good player for a long
time.
They paid a lot of money for him.
I mean, obviously, he faces stiffer competition than he did last season. It'll be interesting to see whether he will actually get a game in the first match, given that he's just come back from injury.
If anyone's going to get some stuff out of him, then Lampard will, though. Like, I feel like Lampard's such a good manager at basically saying to you, like, if you play well, you play. He's the first manager that I've seen in like 4 years to give Giroud an actual run out in the team, and he came away and scored like 6 goals in 7 games in the post, and said to Abraham, made him cry, like, you're just a championship striker, and then went and bought fucking Timo Werner. So I mean, like, I like Lampard. I really respect him as a manager, and I think he's going to get the best out of whoever plays, and if you don't play well, you don't get in the team. I think which is kind of good, because it means that sideways swaps for Chelsea could potentially be lucrative as well. If Pulisic stops doing well, then and he doesn't get a game, say he gets dropped for, I don't know, whoever else plays on the left, you could probably sideways swap to that person and they'll get another run out of the game. So the price points in this team that you've done really well. Your back line it needs a little bit of it needs a 5 million defender, I think, or something that can reach people.
I thought you would criticise me more for my price points, because, of course, what it's conspicuously lacking is a premium striker. If Werner does start performing, I've got no way of getting on him.
But your Bruno is my Kane. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, of course. So I've invested more in a game week 2 contingency and more in that midfield.
Yeah.
And that's really because I quite like the look of quite a lot of budget strikers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's not bad this year, is it?
Not necessarily sold on the idea of a premium just yet, although I'm sure I'll live to regret that. But
shall we have a look at the chat for a little bit then? Let's go see what they're saying.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's have a look. I keep pressing 0, guys. It's just me here now. I keep pressing the wrong button. I'm so used to you not being here. Right, let's see what we've got in the chat. Anything jump out at you? Hold on. Vardy without Maddison, not that appealing, says Littman. I agree, but not the worst. Haller might start up front, he says, though. Are you worried about Allaire instead of Antonio?
Well, I'd be interesting to know Littman's reasoning there. Haller was not starting regularly post lockdown. I'm not sure, but he wasn't scoring goals.
Well, if you get injured and then you bring Antonio and he's in the form of his fucking life and scores 4 goals or something, you're not going to be like, well, Haller's back and we did pay 30+ million for him.
He scored 4 goals in 1 game, Dave.
I know.
Antonio was phenomenal. And
I seen that.
I think, yeah, exactly. So I think it would be very surprising to see Haller take his place. I think what Littman's probably trying to imply is that Antonio may not start as an out-and-out forward.
Yeah, he might be a left winger or whatever.
Exactly, which obviously would be a problem. I mean, I think for me, Pulisic and Antonio are the two variables there. I could go for Traore and go for a more premium forward. I could also go to Son with my 0.5 in the bank and swap Antonio out. So I've got various options there. That's going to be the big decision for me over the next few days.
Sean Harden says West Ham have apparently been in turmoil since the sale of Diangana. Did you see that? Noble came out and said, I can't believe we've sold one of our most promising players. And when the captain comes out against the club's wishes, there's a bit of an issue there. So I noticed that, and I don't even care about West Ham. So
Which player was that? Sorry.
Diangana? I don't know how to pronounce. Mate, this is all for that joke. Honestly, that I've said all that, and all that's you care about is my pronunciation of fucking.
I didn't know that. I didn't actually know that piece of news, which is interesting. Thank you, Sean. I'll bear that in mind when it comes to my Antonio decision making. But I think he's a great player. If Antonio was at a different club, I think he'd be a lot more popular.
Ducky says, "Is Brewster definitely going to an EPL team?" I hope so, but then I also hope not. Because everyone's going to have him in the team. He's going to be... And when he doesn't start the first few games, we're all going to lose 0.1, 0.2 million. And that's going to be annoying. I would much rather he doesn't go and I don't have to deal with him than he goes to somewhere like Sheffield United. I begrudgingly bring him in because he's a 4.5 potentially starting striker. And then he doesn't start because we all forgot that Sheffield United swapped their strikers around more than their midfield. So that's going to be kind of annoying. So we don't know yet, but I hope not. Mystic says, Dave and James, haven't you guys thought of getting rid of Salah? I know the threat, but just on the flip side, he isn't great form. Mane looks sharp, just thinking out loud. This is that Salah list thing that we talked about today. I told you, like it's got wings, it's got flight, it's flying over every hill that I know of.
Yeah. I mean, Salah is under 30% owned, so
that's so
those
good
who own Salah are in the minority. It is, yeah, but I will say this much, Mystic. I have always believed that Mane is the better player.
Really? You sound like Ben. You think Mane's a better player than Salah?
Yeah, I think Mane's a better player. I don't think he's a better FPL asset.
James, you're wrong. Oh, better. Okay, no, hold on. Rewind. Yes, you're okay. I kind of agree. Like, Mane is a phenomenal player, but Salah is more selfish, and so we like him better. Yeah, okay. And he has corners and penalties.
On pens, yeah, exactly.
Right,
but
okay,
I think Mane's a better player. Like, you watch a Liverpool game, and usually I think Mane has the better performance than Salah, but it's not about that.
You know that Football Manager is my life, right? Just to go on a little tangent, but I'll bring it back. Don't worry. Football Manager is my life, and I'll tell you that whenever I play in the newest game, 2020, Mane always moves to Real Madrid or Barcelona in my saves. And Salah's just sitting there on his own. Yeah. And if they're going to sell one of their wingers, they're going to sell both of them. Yet no one wants Salah, but they all want Mane.
And that's the most reliable source I can think of.
I honestly, mate, they have actual scouts working for them. What other game has actual real-life scouts working for them? Good. So I agree with you, actually. But I would never pick him. Liam Healy in the chat, how's it go, man, says Dele Alli an option. Dele Alli's supposed to be this... amazing up and coming player, but he's 26 and hardly gets a game. And even in All or Nothing, I know he's like 26 or something, or like he's really old. It's another what's the guy's name in Man United that everyone's like, oh, he's a young whippersnapper.
I don't know, Martial.
Martial. Oh my god, it's someone who it's a little guy who's actually like 40. Everyone in the chat's gonna start saying it. Not
Wes Brown.
No, it's the winger. Starts with an L, maybe? I forget. Anyway, Dele Alli is portrayed in All or Nothing as like, someone who's he's like the person who we're supposed to be rooting for to get into the team and score goals, right? But his performances consistently show us that we can't do it. See, here they come in the chat. Lingard. It is Lingard. That's what I'm talking about. So Dele Alli for me, they're behind. I can't believe. So that's another thing. Twitch is a lot less laggy than YouTube, so we're now just getting hundreds of Lingards. That was a minute ago. So in the show, Dele Alli's like this someone who we're supposed to believe in. This guy who's up and coming. This guy who's gonna get in the team and do really well. But like, would you rather him over Son? Would you rather him over Kane? I don't want three. And their defence is actually looking really enticing now, Tottenham, with the Dockery and stuff. Laurie isn't super expensive if you wanted consistency at the back. So I feel like Dele Alli to me is kind of like Van der Beek, or however you say his name. You know what I mean? Just like the fourth or fifth person I would choose from that team. So therefore I don't even have to consider them as an FPL option. What about you?
I agree, really. I agree with basically everything you've said for once. I think Dele's a fine option. He's obviously cheaper than a lot of those promising Spurs assets, but ultimately he's still too expensive for me. I don't think he deserves to be at that price point, and I think there are many better options in and around him. Michael's Fedin asked, why not DCL with Everton's improved midfield? This is interesting, isn't it? Lots of talk about Everton since that James Rodriguez signing.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of DCL, is the first thing that I should say. I actually had him in my post-hiatus wildcard. I
told you not to do that as well.
In the league. No, joking. But I do really rate him. He obviously had a phenomenal 2020 until the hiatus.
100%,
was locked in my team, and I loved owning him. I would like to see how he gets on this season, but for me, he's not a game week 1 pick. I think until Everton have proven themselves, they shouldn't be anywhere near your team, personally.
Everton are the Chelsea of last season. They brought some decent players. They've bulked up that midfield, which we all knew Delph wasn't going to accomplish. Do you remember when City sold them and everyone was like, "Oh, that's what Everton needed. They needed some sort of like a holding midfield, Delph." And then obviously an actual competent manager comes in. It's like, no, let's get Alan. Alan's pretty good, and everyone's like, yeah, he is really good. I can't believe he's went to Everton. And then he's like, oh, you know what? We should bring in Decore, who was amazing at Watford and probably one of their best players of the whole season. Let's get him in on the cheap. And you know what? James Rodriguez, I keep signing him. Let's break They are doing everything they should be doing in the transfer window, and I think they're doing an amazing job. But I'm still on the exact same as you. Like, I'm never going to pick them until we figure out who's starting, who's playing where, and who are the cheap commodities that I can bring in without too much trouble. They're exact same place that Chelsea were last season. If you remember, we were all kind of like, hold on Chelsea. Don't go on Chelsea. They're all cheap, but we don't know who's starting. We don't know blah, blah, blah. And then once we found out, oh, no, it's Abraham, let's get him. And he did well. Mount for a little bit, etc., etc. So they're kind of in the same place for me.
Yeah, I think if they do well, DCL will definitely what's happened.
Oh, he said do.
Oh, for God's sake. On that, though, I'm just going to get another drink. Lord knows I need it.
All right, guys. So Everton, let me read the chat then. I seen a thing from Oblivious. Hold on, let me go back. Thoughts on Watkins at Villa? I can't ever pick a team that I haven't seen in the Premier League. It goes against everything that I know. Like, why would I waste a transfer on someone if they don't do well? Like, Watkins, I could get to very easily. Oh, he's back. Hold on. Hey, bro. Watkins at Villa, what do you think? Do you know anything about it? Striker.
Never heard of the bloke.
Yeah. Well, I think it was Brentford he came from.
Right. Okay. Well, this is all red flags.
I know exactly. Like, we have to talk about it, but it's the same thing every time. Like, not only is he not Timo Werner, the one person that was maybe potentially going to get in my team who's never played in the Premier League. But I'm never drinking a Monster on stream again. By the way, I'm the most gaseous person you will ever meet. I feel like you.
This is my normal.
I know, I hate it. I'm so sorry, chat. There's 30 people in here. Let's take a moment just to say that this is already better than Twitch. This is such a good idea. Thank you very much, Past David, for making this adjustment. Thank you, everyone who is here. We have 21 likes. You don't even get likes on Twitch. 21 of you, 31 of you are here, and 21 of you are having a good time. That is incredible. But I don't believe you.
That means only 9 people are miserable.
I know, which is such a big improvement.
Pretty good for us.
That's decent. Pretty good for us. Decent. Wait till they see our Football Manager saves. Oh my goodness. Which you can see on the YouTube channel. There we go. Which we're already here. See, when I'm pointing people, they're already here. Oh, this is so good, guys. This is so good. That flavor of Monster is lovely, though. It is absolutely the best. The only way you can get fruit punch in this fucking country is to drink it in an energy style. Fruit punch. Yeah, because fruit punch in Canada is like a thing. You get it everywhere. You get it like for 25 cents. It's like diluting juice over here. Here, you can't get it. This is the only time I've ever found fruit punch. And I mean proper fruit punch. Like
tropical fruit juice?
No, but it's like better than that. It's kind of like, it's like pure sugar, but in like fruit flavor. There's no, I don't really know how to describe it. It's kind of like Iron Brew. How do you describe it? It tastes like rust, but yummy.
Dave, we've got 29 likes and 31 people watching. That means only 2 people are miserable.
What? Just mentioning likes and you guys do it? Holy
it's
shit.
gone down. It's gone down to 28. Someone has retracted.
Unlike. Get it unlike. Even though that's detriment, it's probably a golden rule. You never tell people to unlike because they will just for a laugh. I still think it's funnier than having more likes.
Yeah, I want to see if we can get down.
Get it back to 2021.
We get down to 20.
Get those likes off the screen, lads. Oh, that's fun. I'm actually watching it now because it's going to catch up in 30 seconds. They're going to... Yes, it went down. That's so funny.
Oh, we've got some dislikes.
All right, this is the one and only time we can do this on stream where we talk about our likes and dislikes in a negative way. Thank you, Sure Can't Hear from India. Good to hear you guys. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. Someone from Cuba reached out to me today or yesterday and was like, I'm loving your pods. It's so weird that people listen to me and care. It's so strange.
Was it Onel Hernandez?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't.
He's the only Cuban footballer that I know.
It wasn't a footballer, mate. There was so many millions of people that live there that don't play football.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, I really appreciate everyone coming out here. This is actually loads of fun. And yeah, let's keep it going. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were reading chat. Let's continue reading chat, and then what we'll do is we'll do the differential team. Okay. Is that a White Claw or something similar? How's it going, Tips? Appreciate your love. Getting in on the stream. Hope you like the new digs, mate. No, it's a monster. It's a monster. Grealish to Watkins equals goals. Yes, Notorious Nerd has mentioned Watkins again. I have no problem with jumping on Watkins if he does well, but that's it. That's all I've got for you. Like, and you're in the same boat, right?
Yeah, and I'm very sceptical about how well any Villa striker is going to do when they're playing for Villa.
Yeah, it's the age-old shit team, good player scenario. Because Grealish was a decent player for a lot of people. Had him. The General had Grealish for a while. He did okay.
Sure.
So it's not like I'm against Villa per se. It's just I'm against owning them to start with.
Well, yeah, a talisman a team is very different to a promoted, inexperienced new transfer.
Yeah. Mario Sarlidis says, will Vinagre start? Ben Dinnery says no. Ben Dinnery says not only will he probably not start, but the fact that he is potentially being sold shows that the club see him as surplus to requirements, which means that if you're hoping that a player gets sold, then you're not going to start him in game week 1. Because we have to remember, guys, we have to keep it in our heads that the transfer window doesn't end on Saturday. It's only our transfer window that ends on Saturday. Like, Wolves could still sell him on Monday, on Tuesday. Why would they risk a potentially 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 million pound deal by starting a guy just because a bunch of people have him at 4.5 million in their FPL team? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's worth the risk. He's not that good, and it's against Sheffield United, who've actually been looking decent.
It's a shame that the world of football works in those ways, but you're exactly right, Dave.
Yeah. I wouldn't risk a 9 million pound deal on starting a left back, especially one that I didn't want in the team in the first place. He has been. I'm genuinely serious with this. Vinagre hasn't been in a single one of my drafts.
No,
not even a little bit.
Nor mine.
No, but you do have a Wolves player in your team, which is interesting because a lot of people have been thinking about getting Wolves players in, but I just think their first 2 games are so shocking that I would rather just start moving them in later on.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You know, there's only so many transfers that you can preempt.
Yeah.
And for me, my priority when it comes to my free transfers is going to be mostly getting onto Man City and Man United assets over the next few weeks. So I'm trying to, even if it means swallowing a few rubbish game weeks, I'm trying to pick these players for, the greater good.
Fair play. All right. Last question. Better 4.5 million defenders except Justin. James?
I think Marius there is referring to Vinagre. He's saying, are there any better ones?
Are there any better ones? Yeah, so go give me.
Yeah, Lamptey.
I love him. I loved watching him. I loved everything about him. I love the fact that Brighton have finally got someone in defence that doesn't stand in their box. It's really exciting. They're kind of venturing out of their comfort zone of being a defensive team. And especially making a big impact on him if he's willing to snub Chelsea and go there permanently, right? That's a huge thing because Chelsea are this massive bringing youth players to the forefront team, and he's went, "No, I'd prefer to be in fucking winter Brighton." Do you know what I mean? That's huge.
I'll tell you what, if there's one team that could maybe boast that accolade more than Chelsea, it is Brighton.
Oh, really?
In Brighton, they have a manager who is notorious for his nurturing of youth prospects, and it's something that will, I think, very much become part of the fabric of the culture at Brighton. So Lamptey could not really be in many better places if he wants to develop his career, and I'm confident he will next season.
I think he's a good pick. Kyle Walker-Peters was mentioned by It's Raw. I totally agree with Kyle Walker-Peters, although we do have to remember that he wasn't picked very much last season, and we all expected him to do really well coming from Spurs, was it? And then, he didn't really play that much. So we'll see. He was in my team, and I remembered he plays in Southampton, and I've got McCarthy, and I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way that I'm doubling up. But you've doubled up on Ryan and Lamptey.
And Lamptey, I have, yeah. And it's worth premising this with the fact that, obviously, next week I will be playing a 3-4-3. A 3-5-2 with Fernandes in, which will mean dropping a defender, which most cases is going to be Lamptey.
Yeah, so he's just you've got him only for Chelsea.
I've got him only for Chelsea. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, I mean there will be weeks when I do want to double up on that Brighton defence, I'm sure, but for the most part, he's going to be a bench player. So it's swallowing the bitter game week 1 pill in favour of a hopefully easier ride when it comes to the later game weeks.
Right. All right. Speaking of rights, me and you, you and me, right? We have 20 minutes, guys. There's 30 of you in the chat. We are going to now do our put your money where your mouth is team. James, explain the rules of this team, and I'll get it up on the screen.
Yeah, okay. So the fundamental idea behind put your money where your mouth is that Dave and I will often wax lyrical about players that ultimately we're never going to bring into our side. So this team has been created to include all of those differentials that you daydream about and think about into one team. Mm-hmm. The rule is that we don't really look at ownership percentage. What we're more focused on is the narrative surrounding them. So if a player is not being talked about, if they are out of favour, but we think they're going to do well, we will bring them into the team. So it may mean later in the season, let's say, for example, that 20% of teams still own Bruno Fernandes because he was really popular at the start of the season, but Bruno Fernandes has since disappeared off the radar, and any active manager worth their salt got rid of him long ago. But we think Bruno Fernandes is going to have a resurgence in form. We might well bring in Bruno Fernandes, and that would be consistent with the rules. The point is this: if active managers are talking about them, we cannot bring them in.
No bueno.
What's important with this is that every time we make a transfer, and this is where the money part comes in, we have to pay £5. So if players
Whoa.
I have to pay £5.
Yeah, so that's it. That's it.
If players are not performing and we want to get rid of them in order to improve the team, we have to do it for a cost, which means we have to really consider the players that we're bringing in. And it is, for me, I take this very seriously. Like, it will cost me money. If it's 38 transfers, that's £190 that I have to splash out. So I would much rather we be considered about this. We pick it. Alas, we've now got 18 minutes.
18 minutes to get it.
Which isn't ideal.
But I feel like this doesn't have to be the final draft, but it does have to be a significant portion of our critical thinking on this. But like last time, we can text each other little ones we have. So everyone in the chat, what I want to see is one player from everyone who no one is talking about that you think might be a good choice. Now, I'm just going to go out there and say Lamptey probably doesn't cut it. He has been talked about a wee bit, maybe too much. Well, I don't know. We talked about it. Maybe it's just because we talked about him. I know you've talked about him a lot. Okay, well, let's say Lamptey level of talking and lower. So if they're talking about any of these players that you're thinking of more than Lamptey, then he doesn't qualify. So give us your team. Give your players. James, you start us off.
I'd like to include Webster from Brighton.
Perfect. That I don't even. Yeah, is he a defender?
Scored a few goals last season.
Okay. Yeah.
4.5 million. I like him.
All right, that's fine. I've been thinking about putting Lacazette in my team.
Love that. That's a great example. That's a good one, right? pick. Yeah,
because
yeah.
I want Nketiah, but but he might not start because of Lacazette. So I feel like Lacazette might be a good choice for this team. So let's put him in.
Okay.
And we'll wait for the suggestions to roll in. Is there anyone else that you've been thinking? What kind of keeper? Should we just get the keepers out of the way?
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't know. I mean, the thing is that if you're a starting keeper, you're going to be discussed to some degree in the FPL community. But one goalkeeper that I haven't seen discussed that much, but I think could be a cheeky little acquisition, is Martin Dubravka. Overpriced, definitely, but budget's never an issue with this team.
He's injured. I mean, that's why he's not being spoken about. Oh, that's funny.
It's almost like I don't keep tabs on the injury status of Newcastle goal.
You don't give a shit. You're like, Bet, you'll just send Ben your team an hour or two before deadline. Say, are we all good? And Ben will go, you haven't even been reading anything I've done. And you'll just be like, here's my password, mate. Just sort the team out. Chelsea keeper Azar Balaga. That is the biggest differential I've ever seen. Everyone hates him, including himself, I bet.
Exactly. And that is the spirit of this squad.
I feel like we'll put a pen in him. I think yes. Because people have been going for Reece James. People have been thinking about, but the reason why not everyone's doing Reece James is because he's not nailed. But I feel like their keeper must be nailed, right?
Well, no.
No, I know. This is scary. Should we put... you know what? Why don't we just put both of their Chelsea keepers in?
What, Willie on the bench?
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Because then we can never lose.
I do think it's... If we want to move on to a Chelsea player, we don't have many slots.
That's true. But I feel like Chelsea are going to be the most talked about thing. But we'll just leave it there. It's going to be hilarious when they buy Donnarumma and they bring him in and we're fucked. Right, let me have a look at these chats. James Rodriguez, I think he's been talked about just a wee bit too much. Harvey Barnes is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he was in our last Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is team, if you remember. Honestly, it was awful. It was incredibly frustrating to own him, particularly because I think he's a player that's got a huge amount of potential.
He just doesn't play enough.
We'll put a pin in Harvey.
Okay. I'll put him in the team then. Well, who else? I seen someone else. Iro came in first, actually, with Ream. I don't even know who that is. Ream from Fulham.
Tim Ream. Is he a goalkeeper? Tim Ream? I think his name's Tim.
Is he? I'm asking you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like none of us really know what we're talking about.
No, he's a defender. I don't mind. We'll just put him in there. Barnes, 7 million. 7 million for Barnes. That's quite expensive. Although we do remember from last year, it was really hard to spend all our money. So
it was, yeah.
Costa coming in with 5 picks or something. Almiron, Allaire, Cancelo, Shaw, Peters, Pickford, Siggy.
So Cancelo's a great shout.
I think Cancelo's good because not only is he play for a blanking team, but he's also a defender.
Almiron I really like too. Almiron's a lovely little pick because he actually finished the season very, very well, I felt.
I know, but they've just bought Wilson and Andy Carroll's been doing well. I feel like although no one's speaking about him, I still feel like we should pick decent players.
But Almiron's not that player. He's not a forward.
Is Almiron the little left? Oh, I'm thinking of Joe Linton. Yeah. Right? No, you're right. They're both shit in my head, so I don't even... Right, okay, Almiron's in. All right, that's fine. I don't mind that. So, will Almiron play on the left when Fraser's not playing? Like, how's that going to work? Because it's going to be Saint Maximum, Fraser, and Richie as their midfield attack.
I imagine it. Yeah, I think maybe Fraser will play a slightly deeper role, pulling the strings. Almiron and Saint Maximum will form 2 of a front triumvirate that also includes Wilson in the middle.
I'll ask some people on Twitter. We'll see what they say. If Almiron will start, then I'll keep him in there. That's fine.
Almiron will start. I'm sure he will. He was their top scorer last season. Probably their player of the season.
Chelsea are in talks to sign a goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy from Rennes. Rennes? I forget how you pronounce that French word.
Rennes, I think, is fine, yeah.
What about Fraser? Is people talking about Fraser? I know they've been talking about because of a new transfer, but I haven't seen him in any teams.
No.
Fraser in. He costs the same amount. And he definitely will start eventually.
Yeah, okay. I think we could live to regret that Almiron omission if we do get rid of Almiron.
For fuck's
Or are you
sake.
saying both? Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I'm the one that has to pay if we want to transfer.
Yeah, you can be completely right. Tin Costa came back again. Tielemans, Mankilo, Redmond. I like Tielemans as a pick if there's a few Leicester players that are out, and Leicester have a really good fixture run. And have you seen many people talk about Jimenez? No, you know who I've been looking up stats for. Who's their little right? So
Neto.
no, not him. Starts with a P.
Oh, Podence.
Yeah. Well, do you think he'll play? He's a belter of a little
Yeah.
player.
My dad's looking at him quite seriously.
Oh, I
But
bet he
he's
is.
the only
For totally
person-
different reasons.
He's the only person I know who is considering Podence. But he looks like a great player.
Juan King says Almiron get him in. So there's a few people shouting for Almiron.
I've only just got that. That's genius.
Siang707 says, hey man, best long-term 4.5 million defender other than Walker Peters. I know you said Ailing, but he has some hard fixtures. Also Adams or Mitrovic as a long-term choice, as I can only get one. Mitrovic for long-term. Adams is kind of a backup to Ings. Not backup as in like he'll play and then Ings will play and then he'll play. I just mean like he's kind of cover-ish, even though cover's a myth. I prefer Mitrovic. And 4.5 other than Walker Peters. We were talking about who was your guy, Lamptey. So there you go, mate. Sorted. Milivojevic says David McCauley. Milivojevic, the only player I can pronounce correctly.
Beautifully done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, a lot of midfielders coming in here. I am a little bit. I do think there are premium assets that aren't being discussed.
Shall we have a
and
look
I feel as though we should have at least one of them. I feel like there's quite a lot of Man City midfield, for example. You think of the likes of Bernardo Silva and Mahrez that I haven't really seen in any squads. It might be nice to include one of them.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Let's look at City then. Let's jump into City. De Bruyne, no. Sterling, no. Mahrez, maybe. Bernardo Silva's got a slight flag. Foden's been talked about way too much, hasn't he?
Mostly for wrong reasons, but
So
yes.
let's take out Almiron, let's say, and put in Mahrez. Okay, we've got that. Who else have we got? Zaha. Foden says sure can't. Jota or Podden. Sean Harden says Matthew. Thank you very much for coming here. Minamino seems to be getting settled. Minamino. There's a Liverpool player. Firmino.
Surely not.
What
Surely
about
he
Firmino?
won't. Firmino's a lovely shout.
Do you like that as a pick? That's a horrible
I
pick.
really do.
I know.
Because no one is talking about him and he's really good.
He's really good for football. We're running out of this
Yeah.
pretty quick. Is there any defenders, premium defenders that people aren't talking about? Dean. What about Dean? Has he been talked about
Dean?
enough?
No, I don't think he is. I
You know
don't
what?
think he is.
I think he's been talked about a little bit more since Everton's.
Okay. Strengthening.
But what if we went for the other Dean? Do you remember his name?
The other Dean.
Yeah, the one that plays on the other side. Oh, is he
Mike
away?
Dick.
I thought
Mike
Sidibe,
Dick.
is Sidibe not in the team anymore? Was he a lone player? Sidibe.
Oh, yeah, possibly. I don't know. Leighton Baines. Bring him in. Roll back the years. what about Azpilicueta?
Ooh. There's talk saying that he might not play long term because Chilwell and James.
Chilwell, yeah. But James is. I mean, is he? Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone's been saying that James is this is his breakout season.
Okay. What about Harry Maguire? Or Wan-Bissaka?
Mate, no one's talking about Wan-Bissaka, and he is our guy.
Get him in. He's like the bloody firing blank talisman.
Right. I know. Let me go to the chat. Rodrigo for a forward at Leeds. Oh, you know what? That's not a bad shout. We could also do that new guy from Villa that we were talking about earlier. I forgot his name already. Best pick
Although
ever.
he
no
has
one
been
talks
raised
about.
by the chat, which makes me feel as though people are talking about
Maybe.
him.
Tin Costa says Aguero, but I'm looking at Aguero for my actual team, so I feel like that
Aguero.
immediately cuts him out.
Far too popular, yeah.
Castan from Leicester, is he their new left back that they got as soon as they sold Chilwell? I think he is.
Yeah, I thought he was. Oh yeah.
5.5. I don't mind putting him in. We've got 13 million to spend on our last.
I think we've got far too much Leicester here.
Do we? Oh, we do too.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'll take Tielemans
don't
out.
like
We'll take Tielemans out.
Yeah.
Right. Let's look at premium forwards. We've got that's where we've got most of the money. Are people talking about Jimenez?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Jimenez is one of the most owned strikers.
Oh yeah. Casuals forgot. What about Burnley? What about Wood? Oh no, we've got way too many City and stuff. We have our bench is going to be full of blanking players.
We need to prioritise.
No one's talking about Mapai.
No, that's true.
Chelsea, Newcastle, Man United, Everton, Crystal Palace, West Brom.
You know what, Mapai actually I think has got quite a lot of potential.
I know, but I would kind of want more exciting players there. Who did that? What was that? New Villa striker.
Oh no, Villa. Not Villa.
He's not even in the game yet, I don't think.
No, well, that's a.
There you go. We don't have to get him. Who did someone say? Jesus would be a good. Jesus, no way. I don't think so. Aguero's going to start, surely. He's had like 4 months off.
Well, I mean, they've been known to start together on occasion.
That's not happening.
Is anyone talking about Giroud?
No, because Timo Werner. Was that a joke? Were you joking?
No,
this is not a time to joke, mate. We're streaming.
No. Well, actually, wasn't a joke. No.
Well, it better have fucking been a joke. Rodrigo from Leeds. That's who we were talking about. I'm just going to put him in there just to see what he looks like. Just to have a little feel.
He is quite popular, by the way.
Oh, has he been talked about?
I think he's top 10 most popular strikers.
What? I'm calling you on that.
He's a new transfer. And
no way. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11th, get it fucking round you. Right, okay, fine. Ayew is 12th. That's crazy. Mate, Leeds is second.
Zaha for midfield.
Yeah, instead of Almiron.
Well, no, Almiron is not in the team at the moment.
No, I'm just triple making sure.
Yeah, I would rather have Almiron and Zaha than Fraser.
All right, okay, it's your team, mate. Oh, sorry, you're.
But it's not. It's our team. It is our team.
You're the boss.
It's no. I don't want my money to put me in a position of privilege.
All right. No one's talking about Grealish. I think that's just because we have too many blanking players. Matthias Pereira is a great shout. Mate, I actually think he's decent. You know who? Did you watch? I know you don't listen to content. Why did I even say, did you watch? And look at you, James. You don't do anything. But did you guys at home? Did you guys watch the Black Box episode 1 with Az and the King, the Godfather of FPL? Az has Pereira in his team. So if someone, mate, you're shining the light of Gondor or something into the screen. Do you see it?
Oh, I can't see what's happened.
You're mate. Look to the east.
After
3 days.
Yeah, with my dick.
If you guys haven't watched Black Box episode 1, it was fantastic. You need a Southampton cover in mid, JWP or Redmond. No one is talking about JWP because they're all on
Ben Dinnery did
Scotland.
mention him yesterday, but yeah, I
That's
don't think Ben
Dinnery. Ben Dinnery's made for this. Maybe we should bring him on for this.
Yeah, actually, yeah. His team is basically going to be this.
I'm going to take Barnes out just because I feel like Barnes is being talked about a wee bit. We're tittering on the edge there because I've seen him being talked about by a few people.
Okay. I don't mind that at all. I won't miss Barnes.
Ward Prowse is in there, right? Black Box was great. Yeah, it was so good. Mark Southerns was on it, and he's going to be on it for the foreseeable future. You remember him. Even you know who Mark Southerns is, right?
I do. Why is it called Black Box?
Black Box is a phrase for. I think it's a phrase that means like look back at your thinking, like a retrospective word.
Because a black box is what you find on crashed airplanes that record.
Yeah, they record stuff, right? So I think what they're using it as, like, we're going to be looking retrospectively at our decision making.
Oh, I see. Wow. Okay. Very clever.
It was good. It's very isn't it? Do you know he's a doctor? Anyway.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Tell you who else has got a PhD.
Are you going to say you?
From Fantasy Football Hub.
Oh, does he? I didn't know he was.
Dr. Will.
That's cool, Dr. Will. Do you what? I got him. Funny story, chat. I got him as a Secret Santa in the meetup last year.
Did you?
And guess what I got him?
Oh.
I got him a subscription to Fantasy Scout.
I remember. And he was fuming.
And I printed out like a welcome thing, and it had like his number on it and all that stuff, and it had his name and like the Scout logo and all that. It was like a proper laminated thing. It was amazing. I got my girlfriend to help me make it, so it looked pristine, like a real.
Yeah, it did. It looked good. It looked good.
So funny. And I got my wee hat, because you can't just give like a gift card. You got to give like something. And I knew he was going to throw it in the bin, so.
I got Tom from Who Got the Assist.
What'd you get, Tom?
I got him a book about football tactics.
Wow, you totally phoned it in, mate.
I could have bought that book before being assigned a person and just known that it.
I know. It's an FPL meetup. Like you could get anything. Tom got me and forgot my gift.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Do you remember that? And so he just bought me loads of drinks, and I was like, "This is better than whatever you were planning."
Yeah. Monetary value when you're in London.
I know. I didn't realise. I'm so glad we pre-bevied. Anyway, right, back to this team. We're nearly there, lads. We've got 7.5 million in the bank. Let's have a look at our choices. That was like a 10-minute. Have you ever seen like Supermarket Sweep? That's basically. We went to the pound or less aisle and just fucking threw everything into the trolley. Right. So we've got.
Definitely Dale Winter.
We've got Kepa and his backup keeper Willie. We've got Webster, Ream from Fulham, Cancelo, Wan-Bissaka, who'll be on the bench, and Castagna, the new Leicester defender. We've got Ward-Prowse, Almiron, Zaha, Podence, and Mahrez. And then up front, we've got Lacazette, Firmino, and Rodrigo.
Gotta say, I love this.
You like this team? We've got 7.5 million in the bank.
Yeah, well, that's useful to have. When people inevitably stop talking about Sterling, we can move up to him.
That's true. We can jump on him. We can jump on anyone at any price here. Joe Gomez from Liverpool. I feel like I would rather him than Ream. And no one's talking about Gomez. And at least we'll get some points. No one's talking about Alisson either, because he's so expensive. We could chuck Alisson in there. A double up of Alisson and Gomez. No one in their right mind would do that.
That's a really good point, Dave. Should we do that?
Yeah, I think we should do that. We'll still have Willie in the backup because I just think he's a class keeper. I don't care about spending extra money.
I just want to have someone called Willie in my team.
Yeah,
as well.
And not only that, but I feel safer. Like, see if Alisson gets injured. You know, I think Willie could do a good job at Liverpool if that was to ever happen.
Dave, who in the chat do you think were the ones that unliked the video when we asked for a...
Yeah, that's true. We've actually got 29 likes, 32 likes now. That's crazy.
But we've got 3 dislikes, I reckon, from people that actually do like the video.
Oh, they've just done it for fun. Maybe they've watched it and went, there's too much swearing in this. Or there's too much Scottishness. Or I really don't like posh voices. There's loads of reasons I don't watch this.
I reckon,
I've already disliked it. One of them's me.
I reckon It's Raw is one of them.
Nah, Raw's an OG. Raw's one of the... Raw's so old I forget. Sometimes.
Yeah, but I think he did it for the banter.
I wouldn't put it past him. All right, so are we happy with this team then? Double up in Liverpool defense. We've got Webster there. I'm cool with this. We've got 3 up top with a really exciting Rodrigo pick. Podence is a weird one. I'm worried about him starting. Maybe we should make sure that these guys are all starting.
The thing is, we do have to bench some players.
Yeah, exactly. So, Wan-Bissaka, Cancelo, and Mahrez are all being benched. So we need to make sure these guys are all starting. Lacazette, I'm okay with like punting on as a starter. Liam says definitely the starting. Definitely the swearing, sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Liam. I'll try and curb that enthusiasm. That was supposed to not be cheeky, but it sounded so cheeky. I'll try and curb my enthusiasm for you.
Raw says James knows me so well. You see, I fucking knew it.
Oh, that's funny. Right, who's not being talked about? Willian. What about Willian? What's his ownership like?
I think it's probably pretty good because of his transfer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17th highest owned midfielder.
Yeah, which is relatively high.
That's too much.
Consider everyone's 5.
Let's keep going. You know who I had in my team? Because of the price point thing. So if you guys haven't been watching the 8 Simple Rules, the second rule is have price points in your team. And it comes from Joe from FF Scout, always talking about having everywhere in the team covered so that you can jump to any player within max 2 moves. And I thought that's amazing because last time I was stuck getting players. So you want price points at almost every position. So like if you have a midfield of 12, 8, 6, and 4.5, then you're probably going to be able to get to anyone, right? That's that's how the basics of how it works. So I was thinking, who around 8 million could I get? 7 to 8.5 million. Because you can't really get Son. You can't get anyone in Chelsea because you don't know what's happening there. Willian might not start. There's not very many people that I think will start in that price point. And then I remembered that Lucas Moura.
I was about to say Moura.
Were you actually about to say him?
Yeah, I was.
I mean, no one has him in team, and I feel like he is going to start most games. Are we crazy?
I mean, he is getting on a bit. I think it's between Moura and Bergwijn, but I like both of them as potentials. So I definitely love that inclusion. It's funny that we're both on the same page there. Not the first time, Dave, and it won't be the last.
Ali Wang King says Ali, and I think he's been talked about as like that third. If you don't want to pay for Son, then you go for him thing. Enough that it puts me off. Mason Mount says Sean Harden. Mason Mount being brought in as a kind of put a pin in it for Pulisic, I think, for a lot of people. So again, he doesn't really qualify.
I've seen Mason Mount in teams, yeah.
Let's just enter this. What's our team name, guys? It's got to be money where your mouth is, doesn't it? Firing Blanks, MWIMI, which is
I think either that. I think either that or WAP.
WAP.
Yeah.
Wet ass pussy.
Yeah, I think that's ideal.
Pussy. No, we can't have WAP, mate. We need this to be recognizable as like the team. Fucking WAP. WAP. You know, I had to Google that. It's the first time I've ever had to Google like, what does this mean? I felt very old. And yeah, I was at McDonald's drive-thru. I was just about to get my food, and I was like, and the song came on, and I was like, "What is this?" And I googled it, and it was "Wet Ass Pussy," and I just burst out laughing, driving up to the person, laughing as I take my fucking McDonald's.
It's a cultural phenomenon.
That's such a good tune as well. I think Moura will start non-Premier League games and Ali gets to start in Premier League. Moura to come off early happens to the best of us. That's fine. I don't mind him being a punt for Game Week 1 and having to change him because, I said,
only
the
a
price
private.
Yeah, it's only James's money. You're 12. I am 12. You're right. It's very strange that I look so young.
But no, he said you're 12, not you are 12.
Oh,
He said,
my 12. What's 12? 12's right in front of me.
I think he's probably referring to the squad.
Oh, I get you. I got you.
12 eligible players.
So no, we only have here. This is what the team would look like then, right? Shall we triple captain Game Week 1?
No.
Okay. All right.
I think we're the captain Firmino.
Really?
Go on. What's your beef?
I think Lacazette's a good captaincy.
I
don't think Firmino's going to get... Like, if someone's scoring in Arsenal, I could see it as Lacazette, but if you
Firmino's going to play, though.
That's true. Okay, fine. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, Lacazette is too much of a rotation risk for me,
right, okay.
Whereas Firmino is nailed.
Right,
Probably the most nailed.
What do you think of this team, guys, then? All you guys in chat, this is our differential team. Allison, Webster, Gomez, Castagni, Ward-Prowse, Almiron, Zaha, Lucas Moura in midfield. We got Rodrigo, Lacazette, and Firmino. Sean Harden says triple captain Firmino. Yeah, I wouldn't mind triple captain in a player.
I think when this team does triple captain, it's got to be on a goalkeeper.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have to wait till everyone is triple captaining someone, and then we'll triple captain the least likely person in our squad, which will be Allison.
Exactly.
Really amazing. All right.
Because Alisson's going to stay there, right? Like Alisson is. I'm not going to spend a fiver to remove the best goalkeeper in the league. He's going to be there.
What's the point? We don't need money, so there's no point.
No, exactly.
Agree. I hope everyone thinks this team is decent. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Thank you very much for joining us. And we're going to be here for Deadline, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock on Saturday. It's going to be mental. Bring your coffee. Bring all your questions. I know that a lot of people tweeted me their teams. We'll be looking at all of them for the Deadline. I'm assuming that everyone who sent me a team in will change their team come the Deadline stream. Deadline streams are always very fun. I can't wait for you to join us, James. It's going to be amazing. Either you or your picture.
I am going on holiday that day. However, my plan, Dave, is to kind of just swing by for 10, 15 minutes, say hello, wish you salutations before I jet off to Crete.
Yep. Send us your team, your completed team.
Yeah, exactly, and that sort of thing. But I'm not sure that I can commit to the full hour because there's still a lot I've got to do, like wax my bikini line and that sort of thing.
Fair play, fair play. Looks like a contender for Game Week 1 Team of the Week, says another.
Yes,
Hoops.
another hoop.
That is honestly this is the type of shit that gets like number 1, and everyone looks at it going, you would never. you would never. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us in our first ever stream. I think it went very well. We topped over 30 people for our first stream, and can't be more delighted. I will see you guys on Saturday. Appreciate it, and we'll see you again.
See you soon.
Bye, 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 bye. Bye.
Are we done yet?
3 more seconds.
We finished.
Yeah, that's us, mate. That's us. Thank you very much, everyone in the